Welcome to Nashville, where Casanova Cornwell has stuck it on pole from Guillermo Perez and Daf Sanchez. The championship leader is followed by countryman Bastian Tan, Awful Catfish, and Kaylee Williams, who's making her debut start. Carlos Fernandez starts 7th with teammate Michimoto alongside. Then comes Magic Star, Akari Lopez, and Alex Cavilla at the top 12. Christian Furr starts 13th from Zach Sheehan and Mark Cloud9. Vivlos Sasaki makes their debut start. Alongside them is Toprak, Silky, Escado Copter, Dominic Vancelau, Mario Kloske, and Op U, and the back row of Tommy and Arnold U. The first of our two races here in Nashville takes us to the Super Speedway as all 5 lights go on. And the Nashville Grand Prix is underway. It's a good getaway off the line there from Guillermo Perez in that 3 cars. They run down into turn number 1. You can see the 2 Ed Carpenter cars going side by side towards a poor start for Awful Catfish as they come through the opening chicane. Caution already out, and that is for Kloske and Vancelau. And that is going down into turn 1. You can see, red flag comes out as Vivlos Sasaki runs into her teammate. Very unfortunate. On the opening lap, we will stack them up and go again. Only 22 cars then. We're going to restart this race here in Nashville. And the Nashville Grand Prix is back underway. Much better start there from the 3 of Perez, and a fantastic getaway from the 2 hyperdrives as they run down into 1. Perez already taking the lead as they make their way into the first braking point of the track. A 24 losing big time coming out of there. And I think that's Catfish in the 2 car challenging Bastian Tan down the straight. Sanchez, the championship leader in the 72, looking for the pass as they come out of turn number 4. But it's a much cleaner start to this race on our second attempt as we ride on board with the 2 of Awful Catfish, heading up onto the end of the second sector, and he's nowhere near the back of Bastian Tan. The 2 hyperdrive men, first and second in the driver's standings. They know that they are effectively fighting each other for this championship in the run-up to Indianapolis. Our second trip there. This season, we head on to lap 2 of 16, riding on board with the 2. You can just see him cutting the track at every possible opportunity. Perez with the fastest first sector of anybody up in the race lead. You can see the 24 of Casanova Cornwell on the back. And he's staying within a second of the Spaniard in front is that number 24. We don't know if Cornwell's going to be staying here in IndyCar or moving back down to FG Series next season. But we have seen the Englishman shows quite a lot of pace. It's just been luck that's not been on his side as they run down through the final corner and back onto the main straight. No yellows since that red flag. Everyone now setting new fastest times, under 50 seconds around this track here in Nashville. We'll be on the streets for the Music City Grand Prix, the final round before the Indianapolis 500. And it'll be the final round for a few drivers, 6 of them to be specific. And a Scotto Copter further back with a track limits warning. I'm pretty shocked that not everyone's got one. So yes, we've got 3 new drivers this weekend, and they should be here until the checkered flag at the 500. Kaylee Williams in the 62 for Ed Carpenter Racing, replacing Victor Levi after his accident last time out. And that Ed Carpenter 62 car actually doing pretty well for a first time run. That is Guillermo Perez, who is headed down into pit lane. The 72 of Daf Sanchez going side by side, but not able to make the pass. And in fact, that run coming out of turn 2 was far from optimal. Catfish getting a fantastic run coming out of 3, moving up into 3rd place. Through 4 then, and your 2 title contenders run 2nd and 3rd. They're not nose to tail. They've got 6/8 tenths of a second between them, and that gap is widening. You can see everyone taking as much curb as they can rising up the hill there. down into the final sector of this track, and that was Magic dueling away with Carlos Fernandez, the two Spaniards fighting over 8th position. As Casanova Cornwell and that number 24 Goodhart car is going to hope for a fantastic pit stop here, down into pit lane for the Englishman. Now Perez came out of the pits about 30 seconds behind the pack, Escadocopter even further back. The two hyperdrive men now first and second. Sanchez and Catfish separated by 2 seconds. Perez, where's he? He's coming out of the final 2 corners here. Down onto the main straight then. For Guillermo Perez in the 3 car for Team Menard, and he's going to be far in front of Casanova Cornwell. The undercut seemingly being the way to go for now. Cornwell's coming out on a set of soft compound tires, the only man out there on softs. 14 seconds off of Perez. The Spaniard had a flyer of an outlap then. And just to run you through the other rookies, we've got Vivlo Sasaki, the Japanese driver. She's driving car number 5 for Panther Racing. Behind her, Top Rack in the AC7, driving the Nationwide Junior Motorsports car. As Cornwell getting a track limits warning further behind. Sanchez, Williams, Akari, and Kvyat all into pit lane. Cornwell running in 13th place. That will be Perez with a new fastest lap. That guy's absolutely flying. So, Cornwell's outlap, certainly a lot quicker than what Perez's was. Now 11 seconds, 10 seconds off the back of the Spaniard. The issue with these softs is you're going to lose out a lot on grip. Sanchez comes out in 11th. That should be about a net P5 or so. He's behind both Kushmather and Star, which is nowhere near where he'd want to be. If it's any consolation prize, it's that Catfish, with his very, very worn soft compound tires, is going to come out way behind everybody else, and you can say the same for the entirety of the top 6. Aside from Perez, Sanchez with a track limits warning, his 2nd of the day. Rising up the hill, on Cloud 9, staying out for lap 7 of 16. The South African driver now leading this race, 9 seconds behind is Guillermo Perez. And a further 6 seconds behind now is Casanova Cornwell. He definitely needs a red flag to bring him back into this race, lest he fall into the clutches of Vasti and Tan behind. This is nice. We've got a top 3 battle. We've got a battle for the lead, potentially forming if Cornwell can continue this good pace, where both of our major title contenders aren't anywhere to be seen, and Hyperdrive dominated the vast majority of this IndyCar season, to the point where it is a done deal effectively. Moncloud, you can see there in that red Junior Motorsports car for Budweiser coming into the pits. Please drink responsibly, as we're now at half race distance here in Nashville, Tennessee. Guillermo Perez leads 4 seconds up on Casanova Cornwell. The Englishman is closing in, but look at that. You can see the bands forming on that Goodhart car. When you see those bands forming on these Firestone tires, if you're new here, that is one of the best indicators to know that not only are their tires wearing down, they're probably not going to get a lot of pace out of them anymore. You can see on the dashboard about 46% tire wear. That's how much of the tire is basically still left usable before it is a must that you got to come in. A lot of the teams like to leave it to around 30, 20, or even 10%, but Cornwell already down into pit lane at the end of lap 8. It's Perez from Tan and Mather. The hards certainly looking like the way to go. Let's see what does Casanova put on. It's a set of mediums. Now we know the hards can do 7 laps. If you were to put on a set of hard compound tires now, you can get to the checkered flag. The mediums is a much different story. It's a completely different story because you can try and force them to go to the end, but those tires will be screaming by lap 15. So you're going to have to do a lot of nursing throughout the stint. That's what Cornwell's now got to do if he's to get that Goodhart car to the end on a 2-stop strategy. Into the pits there for Mathur, star and race leader Guillermo Perez, who has dominated this race. On to lap 10 we go with Bastian Tan leading countryman Daf Sanchez and Escato Copter, your top 3. And actually, Perez not having the worst of stops here. Softs going on, but that's Cush Mathur going by, and that's because the X44 pit box is further down. And that's Cornwell. Cornwell flying down the main straight, and he's in front. The exact same way Perez got in front of Cornwell is how Cornwell is in front of the Spaniard now with 6 laps to go. The undercut proving powerful. 3 seconds behind is Perez for 1, and for 2, you can already see the pack, the slipstreaming. Drafting around this track is fantastic, it seems. Kvyat really struggling in that 14 AJ Foyt car. Bastian Tan down into pit lane. Sanchez follows him in. I think Escato Copter could be there too. Vipul Sasaki, the rookie, moving up into 13th place. If I've ever seen an opportunistic overtake, that's got to be up there. We ride on board with the 29 of an RQ. Coming through the final corner, losing out to Marcloud 9. And Casanova Cornwell, he goes by. Awful Catfish leads with 5 to go. And then goes Perez as well. That was a great outlap from the 3. You can see Bastian spinning down the straight. He is out of this race, and he's still going down. Almost took out Mathur on his way back down. The Indian getting a 5-second time penalty. And the full course yellows come out on lap 11 of 16. 5 laps to go. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse for Cush Mathur. We've implemented new wheel tethers for this race. And you saw there, certainly are doing their job as we go green again. 0.6 of a second between Kayli Williams and Toprak. It's always hard to see the Turkish driver in the 87 on the leaderboard, his car being blue. But of course, Junior Motorsports registered with a blue color. You can see Arnold Yu from the back of the pack now up in 5th, mostly due to the fact that he has stayed out. Awful Catfish comes in. In fact, that's the entirety of the top 4 all coming in. Sheeden also down into pit lane, so it's Moncloud 9 who leads with 4 to go. Cornwell and Perez behind. And honestly, I don't think you can count out this 12. I think he's on the same strategy as Cornwell and Perez. And if it proves to be the right one, they can all pit around the same lap as there goes Perez coming through 4, moving up into 2nd position. The top 3 can all come in around the same lap. And if they don't need to stop, then this is going to get spicy because it's going to be a 3-way tussle for the win here in Nashville. Coming out of turn 10 then. This is certainly one of those slow burner races, even with 3 retirements. Moncloud 9 in the 12, leading for Junior Motorsports, whose extended stint 7 laps on a set of hards initially. That's what's put him into this position. Cornwell comes in. Catfish further back with a track limits warning. We got a lot of drivers coming down into the pits with 3 laps to go. Perez, does he have anything left on those softs to fight with? And look at Sanchez now up in 3rd position. And there's a possibility that he can get those softs right around to the end of this race. There is a possibility that he can and Perez can't. And by building up a gap to star behind, that helps him in that battle. He's got 10 cars between him and his teammate. This is helping Sanchez's chances at a 2nd ERL USA Championship. However, unlike his first, which was for Champ Car this season, it's looking like it will be for Indy. In comes Moncloud and Guillermo Perez, the leading duo. Sanchez takes the lead with 2 to go. Casanova Cornwell on his own, getting a track limits warning, his 3rd and final. Magic pulls out. We ride on board with Takeyoshi Nishimoto. You can see the Menards car go right by him. Magic to 3rd position. And Fernandez now on the back of his teammate in that Carlin Buzz 37. side by side into turn number 4, down the inside. Simple move for the Spaniard as the cautions come out further back. It's for Inarque, and he spins down the straight there. My God. It has not been an easy season for Inarque, has it? He's retired from as many races that he has finished. 5 on both sides. The cautions are ending then. And we are back underway. Now the question is for Sanchez. He's seen now Perez come down into the pits. His tire's at 40%. Do Hyperdrive pull him in? They're keeping him out. They are keeping him out. Perez getting a second track limits warning as we go on to the penultimate lap of this Nashville Grand Prix. Rear wing open for Magic. But he's nowhere near the back of a Scotto-Copter. The 2 Carlin Buzz cars now separated by 5 seconds. And for Vivlos Sasaki, this is looking to be a breakout rookie performance for the Japanese driver in the 5 car behind her countryman in Takayoshi. Outside of the top 5, but for Panther Racing, this is fantastic in their hunt to go after the Indy 500, especially seeing as Mario Koske unfortunately retired on the opening lap. Cloud 9 now trying to sift his way through the pack. Kaylee Williams in that 62 car up into 14th place. At the Catfish, he knows it's go time. If he wants to try and challenge Sanchez at all, he needs to start moving through the pack. We're on to the current lap, 1 to go, with Sanchez at the head of the pack, 10 seconds out in front of a Scotto-Copter and Magic. They're all getting very close together in that midfield pack there. Look at Kvyat going side by side with Nishimoto, taking 7th place. So much time to gain just by taking the inside line. Look at the state of Nishimoto's tires. About 5% as he heads down into 1. Akari up in 9th. That's going to be some good points for a Power Motorsport team who desperately needs to get into the 500. And Nishimoto with no pace at all. For Daf Sanchez, though, this win will move him far, far in front of Awful Catfish. To the point where, for the Malaysian, his main hope of winning the title is winning the Indy 500. For Daf Sanchez, he wins the Nashville Grand Prix. And look at that, side by side, between Cloud 9 and Arnold Yu. A Scotto-Copter will bring home a podium for X44. Magic's 3rd, Fernandez is 4th. Vivlos Sasaki, can she hold on for 5th? On board with the 45 of Tommy Yu. To the line they go. And Vivlos Sasaki will just come home for a maiden top 5 as there goes the tires for Nishimoto and for Silky. That looks quite treacherous at the end there if you were paying attention to the tires. Sanchez just about nursing his Firestones to the checkered flag there for what I believe to be his 3rd win of this 12 race season. That's a quarter of all the races. And for a Scotto-Copter and Magic, fantastic finishes for both of them. The full standings will be on the other side. And here is your official finishing order. Sanchez taking the win from Copter and Magic. Then came Fernandez, Sasaki on her debut, the 5 car coming home in 5th. Then came Tommy Yu, Alex Kvyat, Torpak, Catfish, and Akari Lopez, the top 10. Outside of it, you've got Casanova Cornwell in 11th from Cloud 9 and Kaylee Williams, Then Arnold Yu, Guillermo Perez with the fastest lap. Star teammate Zach Sheeden, Kush Mathur, and then the 2 who suffered punctures on that final lap. Takayoshi Nishimoto and Silky with Inarque, Vastian Tan, Dominic Vancelau, and Mario Koske unable to see the checkered flag. That's a massive swing in the championship then, and it sees Daf Sanchez extend his lead over teammate Awful Catfish, then comes Takeyoshi Nishimoto, Cornwell, Magic, Kvyat, and Carlos Fernandez. Star 8th from Silky and Arnold View, then comes Zach Sheeden, Reina Cerulis, Joshua Spence, Bastian Tan, Kushma Thur, and Escato Copter from Mario Kloske, Anok Yu, Guillermo Perez, Tommy Yu, Dominic Vancelau, Vivlos Sasaki up in 22nd on debut, Davy Sikuera, Moncloud 9, Victor Levi, Torback, Akari Lopez, and Kayli Williams, with Kayli unable to score on her debut. And that sets up quite a lot in terms of the constructors, because Hyperdrive Racing now have pulled ahead, and they've always been pulling ahead this season with both of their drivers. We can tell it's a two-horse race for the title. But with the gap in the standings being 119 points, there is only 10 points in it for Colin Buzz to try and catch up before they drop out of the hunt. Goodhart of 3rd from AJ Foyt and Team Foresight, then comes Bernard, Panther, X44 and Junior Motorsports, with Ed Carpenter Racing, Maya Shank and Power being on the bubble. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time then, when the Electric Racing League's IndyCar Series returns.